What's up, guys? Live here at Pro Play Games with A-Team sponsored players, Kamal, Crooks, and Andrew Fredella. What's up, guys? They happen to be at the store. It's an exciting time in Yu-Gi-Oh right now. BANLIST just dropped. What are you guys' overall initial feelings when you saw the list? Kamal first.
I'm happy. I don't have to see a Dragonic anymore. And I'm kind of upset because they hit Lithogasm.
What about you, Fredella?
Good job, Konami, for making this ban list, but not because it's a decent ban list, but because you did it 4 days before UDS. So congrats for screwing everyone over going to that event.
Hopefully it won't be as bad as it seems. This is cutting it a little bit close for those of you who either wrote off the UDS as not going because it was going to be old format, or making it more exciting for those who are already going. But we for sure will be going here in Florida. That's about a 3-hour trip for us, so it's not going to be too bad. Are you guys now excited for this UDS? Are you going to be trying something new, or what's up, Kamal?
Yeah, we're at the grind.
Everybody's playing something new.
I'm going to have to call my boss and tell him I'm not going to work this week.
Okay. And so we're going to go through a few of the decks, or single cards that got affected, and then we're going to talk about the overall deck itself and what it has going forward, and if it's still going to be viable, and some of the things that you're going to be able to do with these new popular decks that just arose from the ashes, and then those who were at the top and fell all the way to the bottom. Speaking of falling all the way to the bottom, we got Zodiac Wrap here, right here, our boy, who all of us have gotten to know for the past, I don't know, really long time. 6 months. And this is a card that defined every deck pretty much, that was either pure Zodiac or, just splashing this card. So what is in store for this deck now, and what do you guys think of it with the new ban list?
Oh, I got this one.
Oh,
we got in the trash can. If you can take a look at the trash can I just threw into.
So let's overgo some of the changes. So what exactly happened to the deck?
Okay, so I got you on this. Since they banned Bravo and Dragonic, they lost the card that gives them a +1, and the card that puts a card in the graveyard, so it makes your K9 dead, it makes Tiger Motor dead. So the only card that can put a card in the graveyard is with Throwablade, and you're not summoning a trap monster, so your deck is just really awful now.
Barrage stays untouched, though. Barrage stays untouched, so that's something that summons from the grave.
Trust me, it does not do anything. Yeah. But you can. The most you can do is like summon Throwablade, pitch Ram, draw a card, make your K9 detach, Throwablade, bring back Ram, Barrage, Ram. Then you make Mrs. Radiant, and then that's it. There goes your turn.
Barrage can go to 6, so that is still irrelevant.
Okay, well, that's useful information for those of you who still have zoos. Definitely, that would be a ship all zoo cards on tcgplayer.com for these guys. So, next one. Let's look at Dragonic Diagram, a card that started off as a $90 card, dropped down to 50, then 40, then 30, right now creeping its way back up. Primarily used for decks that have True Dragos and True Kings. True Kings getting touched on the ban list, some of the True Dragos getting touched. What do you guys think about this deck going forward? Not the pure variant, just this card specifically. Kamal first.
Well, it's a really splashable card right now, so like, I know they banned Dynamite Knuckler, so it takes out the small tributes, because like there's now only 3 small tributes, and one of them was really bad, the other one went to 1, and the other one's subpar. It's just a really splashable card, to be honest. I don't see anybody try to focus on the True Draco cards anymore, or the True Kings by themselves.
Yeah, it's basically what Kamal said. Basically, the deck right now, it's no longer a pure variant. However, it's still viable as a splashable engine because Diagram is still at 3. The ability to pop one of your own cards is still very powerful. Masterpiece is still at 3. So you'll probably see decks that will splash like Diagram with Masterpiece, and even returns it's still at 1. So you'll probably see like a 2-1 heritage, 1 return line with the Diagram, just the ability to like pop cards and go and play the game a little bit with them.
What decks do you see utilizing Diagram now that it cannot be used purely?
Well, to be honest, every like good deck can use Diagram.
Yeah,
every single good deck can play Diagram. So
Dino would have still been an option if Lithogasm wasn't banned. Even if it went to 1, it would still have been an option, but that's kind of iffy at this point. Diagram is still relevant in like a Win Witch Invoke deck or the Invoked, yeah.
You can still play it with like some people like in the OCG. Some people played it with the pendulums
and
like
metal foes.
Yeah, the metal foes. Or some people even played it with the magicians. So
Diagram.
Ways for you to still be able to play it. Yeah.
So Diagram, a hot pickup now. Definitely get your copy while it stays low. We don't know how much longer it's gonna stay low. It's maximum crisis, so no touch or reprint is gonna be in sight until the Megatons next year. So it's a solid pickup from our players here at PPG. Next card, Evolzar Loggia. So this is gonna be based on the Dino deck that had a few alterations on the ban list. It is a very powerful deck that utilized cards that didn't let your opponent play, like Loggia and Dolka. So what do you guys think about the deck going forward, and what exactly changed for them?
Danglong got banned, so that deck being a tier 1 deck is pretty much dead at this point. Lithosgasm got banned, so that's another reason why this deck will not be viable in a tier 1 This deck is more going to be like a tier 2 competitive fun deck at this point. It can't spam like it used to. I mean, Oviraptor's still at 3, but miscellaneous to 1 kind of hurts the deck a lot. So it's really just not going to be too viable.
Yeah, even though they hit these cards, if they didn't hit Lithogasm, the deck will still be playable. There's still like multiple plays that you can do without synchroing. There's still like XYZs that you can spam with links, but since they hit Lithogasm, there's no spamming anymore. There's no and they also lost the best hand trap in the deck, so it's kind of unplayable right now.
This will be one of the decks that will probably still use Diagram because it's still viable with the Masterpiece, but it's just not going to be too consistent.
Okay, cool. So Dinos overall getting touched significantly by this list, but you're just gonna have to deviate from the Danglong engine and just try to splash something else into it. Maybe Firewall deck, maybe still up, but they still have miscellaneous source, but it's only at 1, so it's gonna be tough. Next deck that we're gonna talk about, this guy right here, totally awesome from Paleozoics. It kind of disappeared off the map for a while as soon as Zoo started. Well, at the beginning it was prevalent against Zoo, and then Zoo just started getting way out of control. The power creep really showed on that deck, and now they're getting the Starboy, which we don't have, unfortunately. That will be dropping at OTS stores on Thursday, just like ourselves. So if you like, you can pre-order that card on TCG Player from official OTS stores and get it shipped by Friday. But we will have that in stock, and it will be a significant card. So we're going to talk about that card as well as Palios in the upcoming format. So what do you guys think about Palios?
Palios is going to be the same thing as always. Like, it's going to be a playable deck because it's a trap deck, and like there's always certain traps in a specific format what makes the trap decks good. But like it's not going to be as consistent like as before, because it's going to be like once it gets into the format, it's going to be known, and people are going to start playing for it. It makes the deck a lot weaker.
Yeah, this is going to be a tier 1.5 deck, really. It's going to be somewhat viable, but the problem with the deck is basically the format change itself with links. It's not like the deck can go sit on 2-3 Toads at a time, or go like Paleozoic plus Toad. It's going to have to go Toad one at a time, which is actually it's pretty simple to play around as long as you don't brick.
Yeah, it's pretty fair.
It's probably going to be a fair deck. That's the best way to describe it.
Okay, cool. So next deck that we're going to talk about is World Chalice. World Chalice is a new deck debuting in Code of the Duelist. It didn't have any cards in existence before this recent set drop. It is the newest set, so it is pretty much free from any type of reprints or touches on the ban list, and it is getting a reprint this Thursday, like I said, with that Starboy special edition. So the unlimiteds are going to come out, so a lot of these prices will drop a little bit, but it is a powerful deck. What do you guys think about this deck going forward?
If it goes off, it's alright. I haven't play tested with that deck too much, but from what I've seen, it basically just spams boards. It just seems okay. It's kind of like vulnerable to like certain hand trap situations. I'm not really too sure on it.
What do you about you, Kamal?
The deck is like one of those, I want to say a suicide bomber deck. Like, it's not that consistent, and like when they go off, It's kind of hard to beat because like some people are playing like the kaijus with it. That's been topping recently for the TCG, I should say. So like they summon like a Gamma Seal with a failed spell to negate any card. But other than that, it's probably most likely to be a suicide bomber deck.
Okay, cool. Next card we're going to talk about, and deck we're going to talk about, Wavering Eyes in Pendulum decks. Now, Wavering Eyes many of you guys have played in that format when it was pretty much a zoo format where you were playing pendulums or you were pretty much not playing competitively for the most part. And Wavering Eyes brings a lot of different dimensions to the pendulum deck. Now with the new Link summoning mechanic, you saw that pendulum decks did take a significant hit, but this is a significant plus on their side. So with this card coming back to 3, what do you guys think about pendulum decks moving forward? Kamal?
The Magician deck can actually utilize that card pretty well because like they have the continuous spell that adds a pendulum monster. So like they can put down scales like Magicians and then play that spell and then play Wavering Eyes that add 2 pendulums so they can pendulum summon and they get an extra card because like the Magician cards gain more cards when they destroy it. So it's probably one of the it's kind of hard to tell right now because the pendulum mechanic really got destroyed because of links, but we have to see in the future.
Yeah, it's too soon to tell. Like it does help out the pendulum decks a lot, but at the same time, the game itself changed to make the pendulum decks like almost dead. So like I don't know. I feel like it's going to end up becoming like one of those turn 1 decks only, and it's not going to be viable going second.
Is there any significant pendulum support that you know that's going to be coming out in the future, or is it just too soon to tell right now?
I don't know. About anything about the pendulums.
No idea.
Had anything being announced, but
yeah.
Okay, next deck we're going to be talking about is Spirals. Spirals really hyped as of late because of the double Helix Link monster coming out specific to Spirals in the next set, which is Circuit Breaker.
Yeah, Circuit Breaker. Yeah.
Circuit Breakers are going to be bringing out their boss monster, Link, which has brought a significant increase of prices to every single Super Agent card, including Super Agent, this one right here, Super Agent Spiral. What do you guys think about the deck? It's very powerful. We've seen infinite combo decks with it, and you know they go and they plus 12 off like 2 cards or something ridiculous. What do you guys think about the deck now that we know that it's safe and all the cards are still going to be there?
Post-Circuit Breaker is the best deck. It's by far the best deck.
Okay. I used to assume the same thing, but after like reviewing and seeing every combo for the deck, it's literally like 2-card or 3-card combo. So it's like you only have like 7 starter cards. So I'm not sure what it can do, but for every combo it does, it goes plus 12, so most likely be the best deck.
Seems pretty good. All right, so the next card we're going to talk about, this is just one individual card for the most part, but it also has to do a little bit with Paleo, Resurging, and Paleo being played. So against Paleo and in Paleos, Heavy Storm Duster hasn't seen too much play. I know when I was at the YCS in Rimini, there was a lot of players main decking this in zoos over the Twin Twister just to keep their resources, but it is a very powerful card. It's definitely going to be seeing a lot more play now in the new format. What do you guys think about this card going forward?
It's pretty good. It's actually it's probably going to be a lot better if the format becomes back row heavy. So it'll be like a good blowout go first card that you can side in. So I think you'll probably start seeing a lot more play in like the sideboard a little bit.
What about you, Kamal?
I have the same opinion as Fredella. I don't see it going the main decks yet because we're just entering a new format and like traps are usually not always the answer going straight into the new format. But like it definitely can see play in the side deck because of Paleo the raise of Paleo might happen. So always got to be prepared for certain matchups.
Okay, cool. Next deck we're going to talk about is ABCs. ABCs, when they first came out, dominated the game. It was just just like when Pendulums and Zoos first came out. Everyone was playing the deck. Very powerful and versatile deck. Now that we have links, now you have a little bit more of a ceiling with the deck. This deck has still not been untouched. So what do you guys think about this deck moving forward?
Okay. My opinion about this deck, Gadget Hanger's still pretty much game unless they have a hand trap, but it still has a consistency issue from what it always had. But other than that, I think it'll probably be a pretty solid deck.
I actually think the deck will, ironically enough, be a little more consistent than previously. But it's like I said, Gadget plus Hanger is always game with that deck. But at the same time, since none of that deck got hit, this is one of the decks that can utilize Diagram. So it's realistic to go like Diagram, pop the B searches, right?
Yeah.
Pop B, search, and then you get another piece. Then you activate Union Hanger, activate. Like, there's a lot of dumb stuff you can do.
Terraforming still is at 3, guys.
Terraforming
So
is still at 3. And
that's pretty good. Having 2 insane field spells in the same deck.
It's actually you're like playing 12 copies of Terraforming, because if you're playing Diagram and set rotation, you can play you can play Diagram and Unit Hanger with triple Terraforming, triple set rotation. So it's like you're playing 9 copies of each card.
It's pretty good.
Yep.
All right, let's go on to the next card. Card of Demise. This card, a lot of people saw this getting touched on the ban list. It never got touched, though. It's a very powerful card, especially used in trap decks like Paleozoics. That's why we're kind of, leaning towards Paleozoic at the beginning with Totally Awesome and Heavy Storm Duster. And now we got Card of Demise, still untouched. Very powerful card. Was being used in True Draco Pure decks, but True Draco Pure decks are non-existent now because of the hits of Dynamite. What do you guys think about Card of Demise? Is this going to be a problem in the future?
I really hate that this card's still at 3. That's really all I have to say.
Okay, I agree with Fredella. That card should have went to 1 or something, but it'd most likely be playing heavy trap decks, probably like Paleo.
Yeah,
that's pretty much it.
It's
really
it's an ignorant card.
I hate it.
I hate it too. Why is this card still at 3?
Who knows? Next deck we're going to talk about is Trickstars. Trickstars got a little boost in Honest 2-3, and obviously the hit of Zoos, everything just gets inherently better. Trickstars known for burning, Honest being used to push that little bit of damage through. They are all lights. What do you guys think about this deck? It still has the Degenerate, Droll & Lock, Trickstar Reincarnation, Disturbance Strategy.
Well, first, shout out to Savage Lit fam, Bling Dirtle, Michael Stake. The link mechanic for the deck isn't going to be too relevant still. It's because the deck is still going to focus on the burn with the Droll & Lock. It's a Suicide Bomber deck. It's going to win games that it doesn't deserve to win still. Going forward, I think there's a tier 1.5 deck. It's gonna win games, but it's gonna win games it's not supposed to win.
What do you think, Kamal?
It didn't lose anything. It didn't gain anything, so it still remains the same.
Not gains and Honest, yeah, but
I wasn't even worried the deck played Honest, to be honest.
To be honest.
That's good. But like, it still probably has the same issue that it always had. It still loses the Ash. If it doesn't see the Stratos or Reincarnation, it loses. So this has its flaws. Okay,
so next card we're going to talk about Masterpiece and the True Draco family. We did talk about Diagram, but that was kind of a different subject. This is just going to be on Masterpiece and its relevancy and impact on the meta. Before, we saw this completely dominate for the most part. If you were playing Diagram, you were playing Masterpiece. With the exception of, dinos. But what do you guys think about this moving forward? Is this going to be a problem in the future? Are you going to see every deck play this now because Diagram, or what?
Okay, so this card is always going to see in the format because how ignorant it is.
As long as Diagram is still legal and that card's legal, that card will always be seeing play.
Yeah, there's no reason why it shouldn't see play.
It's like we said before, the pure variants are donezo. They're done.
So just
as a splashable engine, you're going to see a lot of it.
Yeah. Masterpiece is really still a hard monster to kill.
Yes.
So the upside just significantly going off that downside.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Next card and deck we're going to talk about is Ice Belle, the Wind Witches. The Wind Witch trio with their best friend Crystal Winged Dragon. Now, this is a very powerful deck from before. Invoked Wind Witch was a deck from before. Now, not getting touched whatsoever. This deck seems to be one of the heavy favorites in the front. A lot of our players have already talked about playing this deck. What are your guys' opinions on this deck moving forward? And how powerful do you think this deck is going to be?
For sure, it's gonna be one of the best decks, hands down. Because like Crystal Wing, it's indestructible. Crystal Wing, Ash doesn't beat the deck. I don't know. They still have Spellbook Knowledge, so like they had the draw powers. Still, they didn't lose that much. They didn't lose anything. They just gained because there's less traps.
So it's kind of really troll because it used to be Wind Witch and Invoked worked really well together, but now because you only have one Ector Zone, it's either you play just the Wind Witch engine or just the True Dracos, or not the True Draco, the Invoke. So both are going to be 100% meta relevant. You played them both, I guess, with the Spellbook engine, and one does like things a little better than the other. Like The Windwitch engine is really good at the beginning of the game. Like, it's really good when you just want to make an established board immediately. But it's the main drawback for that version of the deck is if they break that essential board, you don't really have any follow-up plays. Whereas the Invoke deck it has a slower start, but it's probably the best grind deck of any deck in the format.
Okay, speaking about Invoked, we got the Invoke deck right here. Mechaba, star player in this deck, one of the most go-to fusions in the entire archetype. Now, what do you guys think about this deck moving forward? I know you touched upon it a little bit with the Wind Witches, but is it viable with any other type of strategy, maybe True Dracos?
Yes, for sure.
Yeah.
The Invoke deck is like kind of like the Paleo deck, but just better because like it doesn't matter if it gets more known. This deck can still be playable. There's not that many side deck cards that hurt it as much, and also like you can keep on adjusting.
The deck is very like toolbox light. You can add cards or not add cards depending on what the meta is. Like, that's going to be a deck that's able to utilize Diagram and Masterpiece as well. So you'll definitely see that deck see a lot of play going forward now. I'm actually surprised that they didn't hit on the list at all.
You got a lot of options in the fusion deck as well, and you got Magical Meltdown, which is one of the best field spells for that deck as well. So you're going to be able to do the same thing with ABCs, where you have two go-to field spell cards.
Like nine of copies of each card essentially with that deck too.
All right, cool. With that, let's go to the Spellbook and the Spellbook engine. We have Spellbook of Knowledge that just dropped in the new set, and that in combination with Blue Boy right here, Spellbook of Magician, and the Spellbook of Secrets, you see a very splashable draw engine that's going to make a lot of these decks power through their combos a lot more. What do you think about the relevancy of the Blue Boy and the Spellbook engine moving forward?
Spellbook as a pure deck isn't really an option, but Spellbook with the Wind Witches and Invoked, 100% going to be seeing play. They work really well together as like a 1 or 2 of with the 2 knowledge and like 1 or 2 secrets.
Yeah, just with same thing about how Fredella said it, I would say the same way. It's just the Spellbook core just doesn't do as much, but the small engine with the draw 2 is really good.
Okay, cool. Last one that we have here for you guys during this time that came to mind was Cosmos, long forgotten Cosmos. Shout out to Jose Osoris, Papito. This is his favorite deck, so we're probably going to be seeing him a lot more. This is in a near mint sleeve because it is on our website, www.proplaygames.com. You can purchase your cards at the lowest price from any vendor on TCG Player. 50,000 plus sales, 99.9 feedback.
Yo, I heard they got Ultra Pro products too.
They have, I mean, like, this is our sponsor right here. So yeah.
Oh my God, Ultra Pro's our sponsor? No way.
So Cosmos, one very powerful deck, very linear, which means a lot of players usually pick it up. Doesn't have too many intricate combos or anything like that. Unless you're Kamal Crooks, then you start doing some crazy stuff with Cosmos. So I know Kamal's really excited about this deck, so let's have you talk about it first.
Okay, so this is another diagram deck. So like the deck can summon Masterpiece and can do all these Strawman plays, bring back big shit, getting Tin Can, Dark Lady. I can probably see this deck being played again, especially because of the diagram being at 3. And same thing with Terraforming. And the deck has 9 field spells, just like the
ABC and the Invoke.
ABC.
Yeah, it's just like Kamal said, like this deck is going to be viable. I wouldn't be surprised if it ends up becoming tier 1. But it's a difficult deck to build and make it consistent. That's the only really downside to the deck.
Little market watch. Dark Lady is now sitting at $17 on the low, and it started with a market price of $5 at the beginning of the day. So make sure you pick up your Cosmo cards because it's not relevant now. I'm sure my boy Kamal Crooks is going to propel that into the spotlight once again. Maybe we'll get a deck profile on there. Maybe if we get a lot of likes, we'll see. Maybe if I can convince Kamal. He's pretty cool. But thank you guys again. This was a very...
convince me. I just need Michael State's Cosmo Dart Destroyer because that's my Negro.
Ship it, State. All right, guys. Thank you guys again for this beautiful and professional insight on everything to look out for the end of the 2017 season for Yu-Gi-Oh! Super exciting time in Yu-Gi-Oh! So if you guys were turned off because of the whole Zoo era that I know brought a lot of players out of the game, now is the perfect time to start playing again. So make sure you start dusting off those Yu-Gi-Oh! Decks and get back into the action. We got the UDS Ultimate Duelist Series Championship this weekend in Orlando. It's going to be super hype. We're going to be bringing you coverage. I'm going to be there officially fanboying and waterboying all our sponsored players, making sure that they get there. Make sure Kamal does not lose in the finals. RIP Kamal. Leave it down in the comments if you want him to take home this UDS belt, because we definitely want to be hanging that in store. Thank you guys again for your insight, and we'll catch you at the UDS. Best of luck, guys. Peace.
Thank you.
Just double Dragoons, 3 of these, just 1 and 1.